Hey guys, welcome back into Legacy. I apologize for that previous shot there of this video. Something happened on reaching again, and my microphone decided to do something to work, and now I have to come back and do the whole video because why not? Okay, let me go into what I was going to say. Okay, guys, so this video is really aimed at people who are burned out on D&D or new to the hobby but don't know other games. And I'm going to try to get through these 10 as quickly as I can because they're fairly simple to describe, and hopefully I give you guys something new to look uh, at the end of the day. So let me just go ahead and start over here. Okay, we're going to start with Rollmaster Unified Core Law. Okay, so Rollmaster Unified is the newest edition of Rollmaster. Okay, it is simplified, streamlined, cleaned up, smaller numbers, less complication, a little easier to read, a little easier to play. Uh, the only downside to Rollmaster Core Law is cost. It does require 4 core books. It is readily available with a PDF and a hard copy. So if you've never played Rollmaster, yes, Rollmaster is a very crunchy system, but don't let it intimidate you because at its core, its mechanics are pretty simple, pretty easy to understand. But Rollmaster is an incredibly simple system as far as mechanically. It's a D percentile rollover. Generally speaking, you want to roll 75 or greater to succeed. Anything less between 75 and 100 is considered a partial success. Anything over 100 is considered a full success, yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to tell you with the core mechanics because then you got to start getting into the tables and all that fun stuff. And I'm not going to tell them that. The cool thing with Unified is Unified Core Law combined with Character Law and Arms Law. So now the combat system is now part of the core book, no longer a separate part of the book. Although the magic system is still separate in spell law, but like I said, you're going to need 4 books to run this game. You're going to need Treasure Law, you're going to need Creature Law, you're going to need Spell Law, and you're going to need Core Law to get the most out of it. But other than that, Rollmaster Unified, super simple system, well worth your time. Next one, Fantasy Age. Fantasy Age is Green Ronin's generic version of the Age system, specifically set aside for fantasy. The game world is implied, but not necessarily does not have to be used. It is very versatile. It can be used in any game setting you want. It is a talent and skill-based system that uses 3d6. One of the dice needs to be off color for specific reasons, specifically stunts and stunt generation. But other than that, I'm not going to, again, try not to delve too deep into the systems here. Characters are defined by race and class, and race can often be defined by cultural. You can play all kinds of different races in Fantasy Age, from humans, dwarves, and elves, even into beastmen and animal creatures like Ursine and Leonids. So Fantasy Age has a very unique system. It has 4 classes that you can play. You can play a fighter, a warrior, a mage, a rogue, and a scholar. I believe is the last class. Very simple system, though, mechanically, not hard to understand. Very fun, absolutely adorable, compact system that if you've never tried it, really look into it, because I honestly don't think Green Ronin gets the attention that Green Ronin deserves. Next is going to be Anima Beyond Fantasy. Guys, if you want to know more about this system, please go watch my series, Exploring Gaia. I'm going through this book page for page, chapter by chapter. Very, very fun system. Very good, very good game. Does not get enough attention at all. Originally Spanish, was translated into French and then in English. Very crunchy, very heavy system with a very heavily implied world that you really can't run Anima outside of its implied world because a lot of the mechanics float around the world itself. But it is very much combat centric and skill centric versus exploration centric. So if you're looking for a game where you get to do a lot of combat, you get to do a lot of that kind of stuff, guys, Anima is definitely going to be a game you can check out. There is a second edition of the game called Port Exet. but it is only available in Spanish. So unless you fluently speak Spanish, and by Spanish I mean Castilian Spanish, uh, you're not going to be able to read the book. It apparently streamlines a lot of the first edition, or technically second edition, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of nuance in what edition 4X it actually is. Um, but if you're looking for this edition, is available, readily available as a PDF on DriveThruRPG. Just be careful because they do have Spanish versions of the books. So when you're purchasing, make sure you're purchasing the English version unless you speak Spanish. Because if you don't speak Spanish, you're just purchasing a book you can't use. Uh, but it's a great game, super fun, very exciting. I have a lot of fun going through it. It's a very fun game, even though it is crunchy. Next up, One Ring. Uh, Francisco Nepatello did a great job with first edition. Second edition has streamlined, patched up, cleaned up a lot of the issues from that first edition. Uh, if you are looking for a game to play Lord of the Rings, you will not go remiss. One Ring does the Tolkien-esque fantasy almost perfectly. There are some issues with the One Ring, of course, but overall, the game itself is very well done, very well crafted, very well thought out. Uh, so it is not one of those games that's going to make you sad. It is definitely not for everybody, but if you are willing to commit to what it is a very good game. Characters are very fun, they're very exciting. They develop very similar to the way the characters inside of the story develop. Uh, there is corruption, there's all of those things, and it really feels like you're playing Lord of the Rings. The best thing from this game, without fail, is going to be the mechanics surrounding exploration. Their exploration mechanics are top notch, and how you move across the map and everything is top notch. It is very much worth checking out. It is one of those games that too many people, I think, will overlook because it's so hyper focused, but it is worth it. Up next, Codan 2D20. The 2D20 system from Modifius, in my opinion, is a very underrated system. I really like the 2D20 system in most of its variants. The Doom game, Mutant Chronicles, Infinity, all of them. Codan stands out as a fantasy heavy hitter. It does a great job of feeling like you're playing a Robert E. Howard story. The Doom pull, the momentum mechanics are very cool. The way that ammunition is handled is very unique. I like the fact that ammunition is handled very well. So you don't have to carry around, oh, I have 500 arrows. No, you have so many loads of arrows, and if you roll a certain number, if you roll a certain way, or certain things happen, you expend one of those uses of ammunition. Uh, as far as characters go, you can be from all over the Conan world. You do not have to be Chimerian. You can be all kinds of different people. You run into all kinds of different people, both good and bad. You run into snake folk, you run into Cthulhian monsters. It is very much Robert E. Howard in an RPG. So if you are looking for something that fills that sword and sorcery, dark fantasy itch, you won't go wrong here. You will not. It will make you very happy. The game itself is just a lot of fun. It is talent and skill based versus level based, but it's also very unique in that it's a roll under system, so you're trying to roll under. So that's a big sticking point for a lot of people, being roll under. Next game up is going to be Desolation. Desolation is made by the same people that did Hollow Earth Expedition. Hollow Earth Expedition, if not aware, is a noir, high pulp type game set in the Hollow Earth. What if the Nazis had to uncover the Hollow Earth and people go into it and the Nazis start uncovering mysteries? It's really cool concept. But Desolation, on the other hand, is a post-apocalyptic fantasy. Very much in the vein of something along the lines of Dark Sun, where you're going to get uh, a lot of very gritty, very down to earth, post-apocalyptic mentality, slavery, things like that are all part of the setting. Those are all things that happen. It also uses a very unique die mechanic in that it is a simple pass-fail die, so there are no specific dice that you need for this game. It is because it is a pass-fail. Evens are successes, odds are failures, and so no matter what dice you roll, you always have a 50% chance to succeed at any given time. And the way that you succeed at task is you need to get enough successes equal to the number of successes necessary. So if it's a difficulty 4 task, you need 4 successes. I mean, pretty simple. Very, very great game. It also has one of the weirdest mechanics I've ever seen, in that every player character has a nutrition value. So you can eat each other in this game. And there are times in parts of the game where you have to decide that you have to do something that may not be kosher to survive. So, like eating a monster you recently killed, for example. That is a part of this game. But it is a really underrated game that flew very far under the radar. But if you're looking for post-apocalyptic fantasy, you can't go wrong with Desolation. Desolation is really fun. Had a lot of fun with it over the years of the times I've played it. Up next, Dragon Age. Dragon Age is a great simulation of the video games, particularly the first two, somewhat the third, but more the first two. It covers a lot of the ground that you need to really feel like you're playing in Fairland and particular, but also Orlais. If you want to play in those worlds, this game is absolutely worth it. You can play pretty much every race that's available is available to play a character. There are only 3 classes in this game. There's warriors, rogues, mages, but you do take a specialization at 6th and a specialization at 14th level, which will better define your class. So you can have a whole party of rogues that wind up being totally different characters at 6th level, based on talent selection, skill selection, and all of that. Because of the way you level up. Again, you're going to use 3d6. One of them is going to be off color because of the stunt system. But it is a very simplistic game with a very high level of tactical play. You're not going to get a ton of you're not going to get a ton of complexity that, say, something like Rollmaster has, but you're also not getting a game that's quite like BX. There is that middle crunch, which is kind of where I like to dwell. But it is definitely fun, especially if you're a fan of the Dragon Age video games, like I said, particularly the first 2. You will not go amiss with this game either. You will be very satisfied by it. Next one up is going to be Warhammer Fantasy. Warhammer Fantasy, I'm a huge fan of Warhammer Fantasy, particularly 2nd edition. 4th edition does a great job. It's very streamlined, cleaned up. That's the thing you're going to notice with some of the games I mentioned that are newer editions. It's cleaned up, straightened up, and fits. Some of the best adventures that have ever been written have been written for Warhammer Fantasy. And 4th edition brought back Enemy Within as a massive campaign. I think it's 4 or 5 books, which is an amazing, amazing adventure. But mechanically, it is a D100% tile system for the most part. It is very easy to play, very easy to create characters for, very easy to die, but very easy to create characters for. You don't have to do a lot of that. And if you're a big fan of Warhammer Fantasy, particularly the old world, not Sigmar, you can't miss out on this one. It definitely is it's a blast to play. Characters are a lot of fun because you come from, your starting careers typically are very, very awful, like rat catchers and coachmen and stuff like that, and then you eventually will become huge heroes if you can stay alive long enough. So it's worth your time and your energy put into checking out Warhammer Fantasy. And if you're going to start, I would say start 4th because it's the newest edition. It's the easiest to get your hands on. And honestly, 4th edition is not really a terrible game. You'll hear people talk about it being bad. I disagree. I think it's mostly functional. Next up, Dragon Bane. This is a Swedish game originally. It's a Drakar of the North, Dragon Demon. Dragon and Demon would be the original name. Dragon Bane is its American version. Fun system, uses a D20. It's a roll under system. Very simplistic. Incredibly well supported by its own community. People play it a lot. It's it has a very wide berth of third-party information available for it through DriveThruRPG. I have the Dragon Bird Protection Guide, which is a ton of new jobs to play with outside of the core. You can play, if you have the best gear, there are two races you can play. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with Dragon Bane if you're looking to play something a little different. It is it's very much supposed to be dark fantasy, but it is, as it says, birth and mayhem. It is not mechanical focused. The mechanics are very simple to keep the game moving. It is a rarity for Free League in that it is not a year zero game. It does not use year zero, so it uses its own system using D20s and some other dice. Very fun though. Lots of exciting opportunities in there, and like I said, super well supported. So if you're looking for a new game, that's one you couldn't go wrong with if you're looking for something that's also well supported by a community. The last one I'm going to go into is one of my favorite games, Dragon Warriors. Again, I am doing a deep dive on this, guys. If you want to see Dragon Warriors, go watch my videos into Lands of Legend. It's a great game. Very simple mechanics, very simple gameplay. It was created in the 80s as part of that glut of mass market paperback RPGs, but has since kind of grown into its own thing because of certain theme games. They have their own publication called Casket Phase that adds new stuff, new classes, new monsters, new professions. Very well supported on different groups. I'm on a Facebook group for it. It's pretty well active. It's healthy. It's very, very, very fun. Dragon Warriors is not a game. It very much is a low fantasy analog of Britain and Northern Europe, mostly some Northern Africa, but very much Anglo-centric. But it is a lot of fun in that you can play pretty much any type of character you want to play. Character development is very slow. Which to me is a good thing because your characters do not develop into superheroes. They never do until way late in the game. And one of the things that I will tell you offhand is even low-level monsters can kill high-level parties if they play smart. So you don't walk into combat in Dragon Warriors expecting that you're going to just kill everything the moment you look up. That's just not how Dragon Warriors plays. But if you're looking for a low fantasy setting that has very simple rules and relies a lot on rulings rather than rules, Dragon Warriors will definitely be up there for you because it absolutely does that. It is an exciting, fun, intuitive game. And like I said, if you want to see more about how the game plays, please go check out my full playlist. I'm almost done with the professions. I'm getting ready to do the last profession, which is Assassins. But I've already covered how combat works, how magic works. I've covered the magic casting classes. I've covered the warrior classes. So, guys, there's a lot of information available for that game just on this channel. But either way, guys, that is 10 RPGs that are not D&D that you can check out that are fantasy, that are really well done, can be a lot of fun. I know some of them are a little more divisive than others, like Rollmaster or Anima. But if you're looking for something different, there you go. There are a lot of fantasy RPGs out there, guys, live, dead, and everything in between. So keep that in mind. And if you have any ideas for an RPG that I didn't mention, you want to know about, or think could be on the list, please add it to the comments. As always, guys, follow the 3 rules. No ad hominems, no picnic fights, no leading college dissertations. Other than that, guys, we hope you have fun, and we do hope to see you guys around the game table at some point.